Welcome back, everybody, to the Natty 19 podcast. I'm Jonathan Marshall, and I'm extremely excited to bring you guys episode 26.
Woo! Is this like our 6-month mark?
Oh, I don't even know anymore. It feels
There's
like
52 weeks in a year.
I feel like we've been playing for like 2 years.
Yeah, this is like a half a year. This is like our 6-month episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to start doing special things. I like to celebrate. I've had a couple of ideas. I've told John about them. I really need to start doing them. I think it'd make it fun.
Yeah. Need to follow through with them. Let's
I know.
do it.
They'd be surprises for you guys. You want to ruin it?
Yeah.
No, I want to be surprised.
All right. We'll be surprised.
I'm
Be surprised when nothing fucking happens.
Won't be that surprised.
I'm cheesy, so but I get nervous about being cheesy, and everyone be like, "That was cheesy," and I'm like, "Oh, it was fucking
Cheese it up.
We're all cheesy.
I mean, we are sitting around playing D&D, so, you know.
yeah."
So what happened? What happened last
What
time?
happened last time? We had an exciting plot development. A ship rolls in to port. Sunk one of those three infamous pirate captains.
The one I wanted to
Sturge,
sing.
The
yeah.
Sturge had been sunk. That's pretty big news in Nyanzaru. These pirates
Handled.
and beyond that, handled by Irame's family, which we now know. We have a little bit of insight on what's going on there. Irame's family has come, and we can only assume they have come for her. We don't know why yet. So let's pick it up right where we left off. Natty 19, here we go. From behind you, you hear, Irame Thalas, I have traveled a great distance to speak with you. May I sit?
Hearing her mother's voice without turning around, Irame hears in her head her mother's voice from long ago, scolding her about how the glasses obscured her face. She removes her glasses and she tucks them into her clothing, and she turns around to face her mother.
You are so beautiful, my child.
Hello, Mother.
You have been gone far too long.
Not long enough for some.
I understand my presence here upsets you, but I have no choice. Your father has fallen ill, and you must return to be at his side in his final days.
Final days? Ill how?
He is dying, Arame.
Of a broken heart. Sorry.
Irame is shook by the news. She is, a father is a hero in her eyes, in most children's eyes, especially, an elven, they're immortal to their children. She asks again, what has befallen father?
We do not know. We have many healers trying to figure that out as we speak. We fear it has something to do with whatever is happening. The kingdom has problems, and I understand that you do not want much to do with these problems, but you must at least understand that my duty is there,
Ah, yes, the Empire.
which is why you must return to Sarafal. I will not be able to come back.
But what of the death curse?
I have made choices here, Mother. I have obligations that are here just as you have to the Empire.
Your father loves you so much, you would turn your back on him. He loves you so much, he did not want me to retrieve you, Irame. But if you had known your father as long as I have, you would pick up on the subtle messages. He did, in fact, tell me that he had given you his compass. And she holds up her own compass and says, "It is how I found you. He would not have told me this had he not wanted you at his side, Irame."
When do you leave port, Mother?
Our ship had sustained little damage and should be repaired by nightfall. We return to Carador at once. I have already disrespected my duties far too long chasing you. I hope you do the right thing. You know where my ship is. Be on it for your father's sake. And for mine. And she turns to leave, and then stops at the door. It is so good to see you again, my child.
You as well, Mother.
And she leaves.
I've been watching this show where this son and mother had a scene, and the mother like does something for the son, and his friend's like, "Give her a hug." He's like, "We don't do that."
That's like very similar to what's happening here.
That's why it reminded me. We don't do that.
So at this point, what do we got? You guys heading back to the headquarters, or are you going to the Temple of Savras?
Headquarters first.
Will they pass Irame's mother?
We wouldn't recognize her if we did, but as far as Quincy was concerned, he wanted, if we were going to meet this person, he did want to clue Arame in.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. All right, yeah, so as you're making your way, you make your way back to headquarters.
Who's in tow with us?
This person being, sorry, I realize it's been the whole episode, but this person being is it the father or grandfather of the person that we're escorting?
Grandfather Zatembi, I believe his name is, which I don't think she gave his name yet. Her name is Inete.
Neat.
And she is to accompany us.
Inete.
And she's to accompany us. We're going to escort her to the Aldani Basin. So we'll make our way to the headquarters with Inete to meet Arame.
Yep. You guys make it fairly uneventful. Everybody's just now beginning to return to their duties. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary, and you make it back. You notice a somewhat shaken Arame when you return.
It's all well, Arame.
Irame reaches into her side and pulls her glasses back out and puts them on. And she says, "I am afraid we may part ways before I had intended, my friends."
Arame, has something happened?
That ship in port, it belongs to my mother.
Was she the dusty elf walking down the road?
Yes. Yeah, she's the good-looking fucking elf.
I said dusty, but yeah.
I said dusty, not busty.
We can edit that.
Yes, that is her. It appears my father has fallen ill.
That's terrible news.
It is.
I don't know what we will do without you, Arame. Though I do understand family obligation.
Well, this is a neat.
Hello.
Sorry, I know this is a little awkward and neat.
Yes, I am extremely sorry to intrude. She holds out her hand. You notice a young woman, human woman, dressed in a light gray robe, carrying a spell book at her side.
Well, my hope in bringing Inete here was that we were going to meet her grandfather, and given that we are to escort her on our expedition, that you might want to meet her as well and meet her grandfather as well. But if you're not sure what you are going to do, then perhaps we should.
Well, what better place to go than a seer? Her grandfather's a seer. Perhaps he can tell you what you should do.
My mother's ship won't be ready until the morn?
Nightfall.
Nightfall?
I've been waiting to throw a mothership. and I know you said mother's ship, but it sounded.
There it is.
My mothership won't be ready until.
The mothership will not be ready.
So I will remain and aid you up until the very moment that I must leave. I apologize. My mother's allegiance lies heavily with the Empire and a little less with her family, in my opinion.
I'm afraid I do not know as much about you, Erme, as I had thought. I do not know which empire you speak of.
It is a very, very long story, and I wish I had the time to tell it. But for now, let's stay the course.
Will you be joining us to visit the seer then?
I will stay with you. I am all packed to go on what I thought would be another adventure, but it appears I am going home. But I am ready, so I can stay with you until that time comes.
Once he turns to Anit, and it appears we are ready.
Excellent. I shall lead the way. Nice place you have here. I believe this is the first time I have set eyes on it.
Irame, upset that she's leaving and seeing another positive woman in the scene, is a little bit envious, and she says, "She's a bit peppy, isn't she?"
Well, yes, it is a good headquarters for us. And I'm afraid it is a little bit off the beaten path.
Anit thumbs up her glasses. Says, I do believe it would do just nicely.
There are rats.
There's
And
gonna
no
be
bedding.
an empty hammock.
Maybe perhaps after
I'm
we
taking
return,
my
I can
hammock.
join you.
Perhaps you could fix the sign so that it spells freight correctly.
Oh yeah, no problem. She starts sweeping up, cleaning our dishes. She's not snarky at all. See you later, you're a May.
You don't have to worry. I have more spells than just poison ones.
Can you make butterflies?
So we follow Anit.
You follow Anit through Nyanzaru yet again, going through the harbor ward, then into the merchants.
We must be getting pretty comfortable with the place.
Yeah, you're
knowing
starting
our way
to
around.
learn your way around. Going through here several times. You'd passed by the gentle mist. Thought about going in for a happy ending one last opportunity before heading out into the jungle.
Could be the last time ever.
That's right.
Cappy's thinking about the orphans for some reason. They just popped in his head. Street urchins.
Copernicus, be nice to them when I'm gone. They'll help you.
You really plan to leave, huh?
I have no choice. It's my father, Copernicus.
Barely scratched the surface here. Let's go see the seer.
All right, as you guys continue, you pass Wakanga's villa. The memories come back, recent memories of Wakanga's villa and the dinosaur races. And you notice the massive temple of Savras, and up above, the all-seeing eye. As you go in, you hear an older gentleman. Forgive me, I am not seeing who it is you are seeking. And you hear a sterner voice. Ardus Simba. Yes, Ardus Simba. I have told you, I do not know. I cannot see. Try again, old man. And now at this point you're coming in, and now there's 3 men standing around this older man. And one of the men pulls out a gem. Now, anybody with any kind of eye for trade goods can tell easily this gem's worth 500 gold pieces, roughly.
Copernicus starts sweating.
And the old man looks down at the gem and he says, I do not know who you think I am, good sir. I am not lying when I tell you I cannot see where it is this Artus Simba is. And then he looks up and now sees you guys entering the room. And at this point, they turn around and see you guys. You see they're starting to get a little frustrated, and they turn around and see you guys a bit startled. And Anit, "Grandfather, I have returned." And at this point, the old man, Anit, I have been waiting for you. The three men angrily put the gem back in. The guy puts his gem back in his pockets, and the three of them leave, kind of shoving by you guys on the way out. One of them says, "I don't know what you plan on getting out of him. He's useless." Now, Copernicus, I don't know how much history you have with the Zentarum, but you notice the mark of the Zentarum on all three.
Ah, okay. Well, as they're walking by then, and he says that to me, Copernicus will, grab him by the arm and say,
How much are you paying for information on this Simba?
He kind of looks you up and down, and he says, "You better not be playing games with me. You overhear our conversation, and it just so happens you know the location of the man we are searching for."
I didn't say I knew the location.
"What is it you know of artist Simba?"
How much are you paying?
Forgive my friend. He knows nothing of a Simba. And Irame looks at Copernicus and squints her eyes, trying to remind him that if it is a person that the Fae was impersonating, then that's different. But if it was the dragon that aided us, Irame's thinking that creature helped us.
Maybe I had the name wrong.
As the three are walking out, two leave and a third one kind of lingers behind. He turns around casually. He just kind of gives the place one good look around like he's casing the joint.
Quincy will give him a look in return and case him up and down, take a look at him, see what he's wearing, what weapons he's carrying, how he holds himself.
Yeah, you don't see any weapons on him. And as a matter of fact, it looks like they're just wearing dark colors. They're wearing very simple clothes. Well, simple in nothing flashy. Black tunic, dark gray pants, black shoes.
Any jewelry or anything like that?
No
right.
Jewelry. They're just, other than the mark of the Zentarum.
Mark of the Zentarum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Copernicus just stares him down, and as he's leaving, he just lets out a wicked egg fart.
Can you do that on command?
As they're leaving and we're walking forward, Irme is going to turn around and she's going to ask, "So we know in the future, is this artist Simba human?"
Artist Simba is, in fact, human. And if you find him, I suggest you contact members of the Zentarum and inform them immediately. And he bows, "My lady."
Copernicus, what do you know of the Zentarum?
I know they're up to no good most of the time. The Thieves Guild back in Baldur's Gate was always jockeying for power with them. Their fingers run deep in Faerun.
It appears they have extended to Nyanzaru as well.
I looked up to them for a time, but they're not for me.
Forgive me for cutting you off, Copernicus, but I wasn't sure if they were, in fact, looking for the creature that aided us on the Assassin Star. I didn't want to betray that creature.
Just seeing that gem, I just wanted to make a quick buck if I could.
Yeah, you do recall that the creature's name was changing as he met new people.
Yes, he must have.
Perhaps that creature met the artist Simba.
Yes, that must be what it was. That's why I asked if he was human.
Now, unless there's anything else you wanted to discuss on that, Anit beckons you to come meet her grandfather, who is now very excited to see you guys, as if you had just bailed him out It's like when we have a shit customer at the store and somebody comes in and the guy leaves. You're all fucking happy. Yeah, what can I do for you? Come on in.
Irame is going to be eager to show respect after she witnessed the elderly man be disrespected, and she'll bow to him.
Yes, quite well. He bows back and he says, What can I do for you? What have you brought me? And eat. And she says, Grandfather, these kind folk here are going to escort me. They're going to escort me to the Aldani Basin to... And he says, he cuts her off. To see if these visions hold true of your red wizards of Thay. She says, yes, exactly. He says, well, you seem like a good lot.
You realize the amount of danger you're going to be putting her through.
Oh, it is not my decision, my boy. She is a grown woman. She can make her own decisions. Should these visions hold true, it would be worth investigating. It is just I am all too busy to chase these dreams, as it were.
Fair enough. Wouldn't send my daughter there.
Irame, upon hearing that it was her choice to brave the jungles of Cholt, looks at her with a lot more respect and is somber about leaving.
You all look as though you can handle yourselves quite well. I trust she will be safe.
Did you see that?
At this point, Anit goes to her quarters, disappears. You assume she's gathering her supplies needed for the expedition.
Your granddaughter told us that you were a seer of sorts.
Yes, quite so.
What is the extent of your abilities? What is it that you do?
Well, typically there is a ritual I could cast. It does take some time, and I could gather some information on perhaps an object or a location you are seeking, and a lot of guides come in or adventurers, much like yourselves, and they ask me to perform this service, and they donate quite a bit. And it is what I do.
Copernicus will eagerly whip out one of the pieces of the Krugen sphere.
He says, what is this, my boy? This looks interesting indeed.
This is an artifact, and I'm looking for the last piece of it. The last piece of the puzzle, if you will.
I see. Yes, it does seem to have a part missing indeed. Well, this ritual will take 24 hours at least, if you do not mind leaving it with me for such a duration.
That's not possible.
I understand. He hands it back.
Perhaps when we have more time.
I could, if you've got a vague question that does not require such a lengthy ritual, I could aid in your journey in other ways.
Irame will whisper to Quincy, your map.
I was actually wondering if Erme, if you had something to ask the seer and regarding whether or not leaving is a good idea.
Copernicus will kind of shove her forward towards him. On the shoulder.
Irame, as she's being shoved forward, will say, I really see no point. I have an obligation, and she'll reach her hand out to the old man.
He takes it and he says, yes, let me see, young lady. Yes, I understand. You are in a bit of a dilemma. I understand. Yes, your father is ill. You must return to him. Is this so?
Unfortunately, I think it is true.
Then I have opened the correct door. One moment, please.
This guy's pretty good, huh?
His eyes close, and you kind of feel the air still around you. He says, your father is sick indeed. He carries the weight of the death curse.
Irame's eyes widen and she looks to her friends.
Irame, you are left with... It is a difficult decision on the surface, but the decision is already made for you, Ereme. You can return to your father and be with him in his last days. Or you can continue your journey and perhaps save his life altogether. Now, that being said, I have no reason to believe the death curse is tied to the lands of Cholt in any way, but some swear it so. I am not as confident.
Erme, if you trust us and you wish to spend this time with your father, perhaps we could stop the death curse, and in case we fail, you would be with him. Though I do think that we would be better for your being present with us, for your help.
My mother. She's a problem. She's a very persuasive woman. I don't know if you saw her, but
And what
she's like my 10th grade English teacher. I am scared.
what would she do? I mean, we are set to leave in a few hours, and if you just disappear from the city, what do you think it is that...
My mother will not force me to leave. The problem I would face wouldn't be that I couldn't return home. I could return home at any time, but I would no longer have her aid in any way. Essentially, I'm like being cut off from the hedge fund.
You'll have the aid of the 3 C's shipping and freight, though.
You will have the aid of Zimwabi.
Zimwabi!
Irame, getting a little emotional, retracts her hand from the old man if she hasn't already, if she's still not awkwardly holding it. And
He's like rubbing it. Oh, yes, indeed. You have nice skin.
I am not a drow by nature, but I have been practicing the drow finger.
You have quite the drow finger for a young lady.
and she'll stiffen up with resolve, and she will push her glasses up her nose, and she will say, I will stay, and I will confront my mother this evening.
So long as the decision is yours.
Well, we leave this afternoon, correct?
Yes, it is much more pressing. I will have to go.
Right away.
Oh, I have to go now.
Yeah.
I have no time.
Steal
to
yourself.
yeah, to prepare myself. Will you come with me?
Absolutely.
I will wait here and escort Anit back to the headquarters, and I will meet you.
Romance,
Why don't you pack this?
Copernicus kind of pulls his straps on his armor and tightens them up. Stands up straight.
Let's go meet your mother.
Into the belly of the beast, Copernicus.
Indeed.
All right, Quincy, you remain.
I do remain, and when they leave, Quincy will ask Anit's grandfather, what was his name again?
Zatembe.
Zatembe?
Yeah, that might change later once I look up the pronunciation key.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Yes, what is it, my boy?
I don't have a lot of money on me, but I do have some gold.
Oh, do not worry. You are escorting my granddaughter into dangerous lands.
I have a map here, and I was told by Anit that you have some maps as well. And what I'm looking for is, well, you see, I think it's in the Aldani Basin, but I'm not quite sure. And I'm going to take the map out and show him the area that looks like a heart.
He holds out his hands and he says, may I?
Oh, yep, hand it.
He takes the map and he closes his eyes. He says, child, what you are seeking is not on any of my maps. He says, however, he shakes a little bit. He says, no. Oh, yes, you are seeking the heart, but not for the reasons you think. He says, well, you may bypass the heart altogether.
Triple bypass.
Even triple bypass the heart, and it would make no difference. It would seem you are fated Yes, indeed. A jungle city far to the south, enclosed by cliffs, crawling with snakes. A black obelisk draped in vines. He shakes for a minute, startled, and he says, I dare not peer any deeper. He hands you the map, and he says, you are fated, my boy.
Then we will find this place.
You will have no choice but to meet your destiny, child. I just pray my granddaughter is not with you when you do.
She'll shiver a little bit.
Yeah, dude, you went to the Darklands there. That was good.
If it is so unnerving, did you happen to see if there's anything that might aid us, that might protect us?
My child, there is something dark where you go. Something darker than I fear. I cannot look any further.
I thank you. I appreciate it.
The heart may guide you in some way, shape, or form, but even the darkness has reigns in this place as well. Be careful, child. Please.
Thank you.
Where did you get this map, may I ask?
The map was a gift to me from my instructor, my tutor. His name was Sir Master Triss. He claimed to have been knighted by some kind of fey princess.
Sir Master Triss, I am unfamiliar with the name. Fey princess, it is all quite possible. Under the veil of Mistra, all is possible.
Well, I thank you for your information, sir, and I promise we will do everything we can to make sure that Anit reaches her destination and comes home safely.
I trust you will. I have seen things along your way. I think you will do just fine. Thank you once again.
And Quincy will just wait for Anit to finish packing.
Yeah, she comes out, skipping along with her bag ready to go.
We had to meet the others.
Says, I have all the supplies that would take me to the Eldani Basin and back. And I have given your Daniel Devitas 100 gold pieces.
Then all seems to be a go.
After you, Sir Quincy.
Quincy will lead her out and back to the and escort her back to the headquarters. But he's not quite as shaken as maybe he should be. But he's a little more confused, a little more befuddled. Doesn't quite know what to make of the seer's information. But he still thinks that his map has something to do with the Krugen sphere.
The Krugen sphere, huh?
You're not there.
Oh, I think that was for the
That was an
first time
internal
in Natty
monologue.
19 history.
Should have told me to leave the room on that one.
Oh, I thought you knew what was
No,
going on.
I
that was
love
a
this
drop. That was
fucking
the-
show.
That was the first of the drops right there. That was between us.
After a couple beers, I don't remember who I told what to.
The Krugen sphere.
I have one beer and I can't even remember when I'm supposed to meet my mother.
All right, Irame and Copernicus. You left.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Where are you heading?
We are heading to the port where I assume Irame's mother is overseeing the reconstruction of her ship.
The harbor.
She's a control freak. She knows she's there monitoring everything.
Yeah, the harbor ward.
No, try it there.
Can we flip them around? Will the ship work if we flip them
Those
around?
patches don't even match.
Yes, it's not too far. The harbor ward isn't too far at all. So, yep, you make it to the ship. By now, everyone is about gone back to their business, doing their daily rituals. And sure enough, you come upon the ship. they're still hard at work getting everything going. And, yep, as predicted, your mother is out on deck. Not really shouting orders. Everybody seems to be doing well enough. She is standing with, what's his name?
Devitas.
He's eating fey fruit.
Yeah. This fey fruit is awesome.
This is your mom, Irame?
She's trying to buddy up for the event of her husband's death.
She's standing with Theorthalos, and they're just kind of talking over things, and she spots you immediately as you approach, and she acknowledges your presence, but she continues her conversation.
Probably assuming you're going to join her at this point.
Those eggs are running right through me. We better make it quick.
As we're walking up upon the ship, Irame takes her glasses off and puts them into her clothing.
As you're boarding the ship, she does glance over at you, and she kind of does a half smile and nods. And you hear Theorthalos just talking to her about time, their time frame. And
Irame, being well acquainted with Theorthalos, not so much as bows to him, but acknowledges him fondly, and then says, "Mother, we must talk."
He smiles at you, having not seen you in a long time, and he nods and he takes his leave. And she turns to you. She says, "What is it, Irame? I am glad you have seen the larger picture."
About that, Mother, I'm staying.
Cappy will just kind of be like looking out to sea and like trying to act nonchalant.
At that, her face darkens, her expression darkens, her mood darkens. You feel it suddenly got colder around you. She says, "That is grave news, Irame. Your father will not be pleased."
You still haven't told me, Mother, what is wrong with Father?
I told you I do not know. We have our best healers trying to figure that out.
I spoke with a seer, Mother, and Irame winces, knowing that her mother is not going to take that seriously.
And what did this seer tell you?
Mother, Father is dying of the death curse.
Wouldn't that imply that your father has died at some point?
Think about it, Mother. What if he's never told us the adventures he was on, the missions he was sent on for our family, for the Empire?
Why would he keep this from us, Irame? Do you realize what you are saying? And now, you insult your father once again.
Mother, if he dies of this death curse, even if he does fall and we fix this, his soul will rest. If we don't fix it and he dies, his soul will never rest.
Do you honestly believe that you, Irame, and please do not take this the wrong way, can solve the riddle of this death curse that is plaguing the entire world? Now come home. Enough of this nonsense. You mistake me for your father.
I think you know it to be true, Mother. I think you know that Father is dying of the death curse. And Irame will pull her glasses from her robe and put them on.
Boom.
Nice.
Mic drop.
Nice.
She'll say, "Your pride and your dedication to the Empire will cloud my vision no more. I am staying."
You are free to do as you will, Irame, but know that I cannot aid you any further. You are on your own from this day forward if you decide to stay here in this dust bowl.
I ask one thing.
What is it?
Your compass. I would like it. It would aid me greatly here.
And how would it aid you? It points only to the other compass.
If I leave that in the port, when I travel to solve this death curse, I will always find my way.
She breaks it from her neck. This is the last aid you will receive from me. She hands it to you.
Nice.
Irame will take it, and she will say, "Tell father that I will fix this." And then she turns and walks away. And then she, Copernicus, who's looking around, not paying attention, she'll snap her fingers, motion to walk out.
Yep. Have a nice day. Sorry about your daughter and all.
She goes. She walks off to meet with the Ornitholos again, as if it didn't even faze her. She's been in court so many times, the elven court, that, she could put on any mask.
Nice. Irame standing up like that.
Cappy will slap Irame on the back.
Slap her on the ass. Your daughter's mine.
Turns around, winks at the mom.
As we're coming off the boat, Cappy will say to Irame,
I understand it must have been very hard for both you and your mother. But you handled yourself very well, Irame. I know the pain of losing family. I guess I'm just trying to say at least you have a chance to save your father. If you do, I'm sure your mother will be proud.
Just keep walking, Copernicus.
You've proven yourself a fighter in more ways than one. I'm not sure what good I was back there, but I was happy to help in whatever way I could.
You helped, Copernicus.
All right. So where do you guys go now? At this point, Quincy and Anit, just walking by, because on your way back to headquarters, you walk by the ship and you do see Irame, and you see Copernicus leaning against the edge of the ship and just kind of doing his thing, and Irame speaking with her mother. On your way by, you do notice that. Copernicus, you might see Quincy and Anit.
oh yeah, if I
walking
see
on.
Quincy, I'll kind of give him a wave. And that uncomfortable looking face. Like, shit's going down up here.
Keep going, keep walking.
She waves and smiles and keeps walking.
Quincy and Neat, you guys are getting up to about where the gentle mist is at this point when you guys finish up at the ship and leave and walk across the ramp onto the pier. You look ahead and you see they are still walking past the gentle mist at this point.
Let's catch up to our friends.
All right, you put a little pep in your step. You eventually catch up. At this point, you would be passing probably along where the child was selling fruit, the fruit stand. The sickly-looking kid, I believe I said he was.
Oh, is he not there anymore?
You guys!
For 3 silver a day, you can feed a Chilton child.
Where's the child here selling fruits? He will not be coming here anymore. So when our friends catch up, Quincy will try to catch Irame. Did all go well, Irame?
As best as could be expected.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
I'll tell Quincy about the encounter and
From Copernicus's perspective.
It was terrible. She did score a new compass, though. We'll always be able to find our way home with it. It's really quite amazing.
Those elves really are quite clever.
My mother, the most clever of them all.
It sounds like you admire her.
I do. She's a strong woman. We have just never seen eye to eye. I've told you before, I don't fit in.
Well, I don't know what we'd do without you, Irame.
Yes, then it is best that you stay with us.
Are you tipping me off to something? Or? No. Oh.
No, I was waiting for the DM to get back.
Yeah, fucking DM's missing.
You guys getting some content while I was
Yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting to launch our...
Or so you think. Sweaty's like, I want to get in the jungle, dude. This has been like 10 episodes and nights.
It has, hasn't
I
it?
know.
It's been a while.
Give it depth, though. I mean, we're giving the city depth. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's history's coming out quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, a small fleet of canoes are being prepared on the small boat launch of the Tariki anchorage. The sun had just hit its peak, and while the soldiers of the Order systematically check and recheck their gear, Petrie delivers the last of the packs to the canoes as you guys are approaching.
Thank you, Petrie.
The coin.
Petrie, so Irame will communicate with Petrie because she's the only one that can. Or no, he can hear.
He can hear, yeah,
Yes.
he can read lips.
I apologize.
He can read lips.
But Irame, out of politeness, will sign to him, and she will tell Daniel that there is to be no funny business while we are gone. That token we had received was a warning. We are to be on our best behavior.
He nods and he just signs back. I will let him know. I will give him the message.
It was for the incident with Simpa and the Ankylosaurus.
Ah. Okay. Yep.
It's from like the Triceratops gang or something.
Yeah.
Tell them to play it cool.
Irame will put the horns on her head.
Yetepka.
Yeah.
He almost looks a bit sad. He knows he's been poring over these maps for a long time. He knows you guys are going to be gone for quite a spell. He signs back. He says, I feel we have only seen each other again for but a few days, and you are already leaving into the jungle. This time will be a while.
And Irame will sign to him to be assured that we will return.
He signs back, do not worry about things here. Daniel and Petrie will take care of everything, and we have good things lined up.
Quincy is lashing down the supplies and tightening everything up. All is well here.
Take care of Devatos for us, Petrie. I know you will.
He nods to you, Copernicus. Looking over the soldiers from a safe distance, Zimwa B comes up behind you, Copernicus. Pats you on the back. Says, my friend, it has been a while.
Zimwabi, I'm glad you're coming with us.
Are you ready for this, my friend?
Ready for adventure? I certainly am.
Well, Timora bless us. I think we will do just fine. Look at all of these men. We shall at least get down the Sashan Star a lot easier than before.
Off to Camp Righteous. No, Camp Righteous is gone.
No, Camp Righteous belongs to the dead.
Off to Camp Vengeance it is. Hopefully this Order of the Gauntlet has learned the lessons.
Irame will stop Petrie before he leaves, and she will hand him a pouch. In the pouch is the compass, and with the pouch there is a note that reads, my father gave this compass to my mother so that he could always return home and find his way. I leave this to you while I go to adventure. And she gives directions for Petrie to bring the compass to Wakanga.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
Getting a little steamy in Nyanzaru.
You've been killing it tonight on the roleplay.
Oh, yeah.
Savin finishes the final canoe. Now you guys see there's about 12 men here along, apart from you guys. You guys have newcomers, Init, Zimwa B. You guys got quite a crew. So are we ready, my friends?
As will ever be.
You look up to the pillars. Copernicus pillars.
Oh, shit.
They're all decorated now with colorful tapestries and such, ribbons. And as the sun begins its long descent, you head out, passing by. Now you had to sail, you're on the Tariki anchorage at this point. You need to go up once again over Nyanzaru. And on your way by Irame, you see your mother's ship in the harbor port. And the sails are just about complete.
as Irame sees the sails to her mother's ship in the distance, she thinks of her father and the obligation she now feels to save his life or his soul, whichever it may be.
Copernicus stretches his legs out in anticipation of a long river journey.
You hear Zimwabi in the boat behind you. Such an impressive ship.
Quincy puts his hand on Irame's shoulder. It will all work out, Irame. Everything is for the best.
And we'll see you next time.